Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited on the next episode. We're going to talk about toddler time. Toddler schedule. What is it?
Toddler routine?
Toddler routine versus schedule. So we're going to discuss those two. We'll see you on the other side.
There are some great vloggers coming out of the U.S., and David and Catherine are no exception. Watch their daily adventures on their vlog channel for fun, humor, and inspiration. Check out segments like Averitts Favorites tips, product reviews, vlogs on their travel adventures, and sometimes just some chit-chat for fun, offering special promotions, affiliated discount codes, and free giveaways. Follow them at AverittsFavorites.com or watch them on YouTube.com/Averitts Favorites. Now, your hosts, David and Catherine.
Welcome back. All right. So explain to me the difference between a schedule and a routine. What's the difference?
A schedule is something that's more stringent, where you have to be on it every hour. You have specific times at which you do things. So, for example, when she was first born, we were all about the schedule, where I had to make sure she was up by 7 o'clock every morning. She had to be fed. She had to do this by every time, right? So I planned it out to, plan my day by her schedule. And I never veered from it. So if it was 7 a.m. or 7 p.m., I knew that she was eating. Or if it was 10 a.m. or 10 p.m., I knew that she was sleeping, whatever. So a schedule is something that cannot be interrupted, or you do whatever's in your power to not interrupt the schedule. Mm-hmm. You arrange your life around the schedule, you live by the schedule, and you do the exact same thing at the same time. So if 5 p.m. is dinner time, it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, you stop and you find your dinner table. Okay. And you eat. That's what a schedule is.
Okay, so you recommend a schedule to be done at a newborn?
For me, that is what worked.
Gotcha.
One of the reasons that we had to choose to go with a schedule is because our child was born 4 weeks early, and she was really tiny. So we had to make sure that she was eating to grow. So for me, the best way to do that was to make sure I put her on a schedule.
Okay. Now we're on a routine.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when I Google toddler schedule, it gave me a whole bunch of schedule of time for a toddler.
Yes, and you can even look at Pinterest. That's where I get all my ideas for a routine or a schedule. Yes.
Okay. But so by you Pinteresting whatever you do, schedule on a toddler, you chose schedule and a routine. You chose a routine.
Yes.
Why is that?
It is more flexible and more graceful for our life. If you have a toddler, you know that they are not 100% predictable. So just even in the last week, today is Saturday. So Sunday morning, she got up at 6:30. This morning, she got up at 8. And then in between there, during the week, Monday through Friday, she got up between 7:15 to 8:50. So there's no set schedule. But the routines are easy to follow.
Okay.
Despite what the clock says. You do the same thing in the same order every day, despite what the clock says.
So with our routine, we can just fire then. On different just fire. That's a military term, isn't it?
I'm a civilian. I don't know.
Okay. So with the to adjust our schedule, we have a routine with our toddler.
Yes.
So give us an example of a routine that you do majority of the time.
Right, because every day is different and every day is flexible. And Mr. Military here, this morning came home and said, "Let's go." What do you mean, let's go? Go where? We don't go anywhere. Anyway, so when we wake up, we have our little routine. Since she is potty training, she goes to the restroom first, and we take care of that. And then she doesn't really like to eat first thing in the morning, but I get my coffee, she gets her cup of milk, and we hang out in the
What type of cup of milk?
What do you mean?
Whole milk, not 2%
Yes, for a few
milk.
more weeks, because
Yes.
under 2, our pediatrician recommended that they have whole milk. And that's
Correct.
for a majority of children unless they have an obesity problem. But talk to your pediatrician. That's why we do that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I don't
All
know
right.
why that was important.
It was important because you told me every time I go shopping, make sure I get whole milk.
That's for you, not for
Oh, gotcha.
the population of humankind.
Okay.
Okay. Their pediatrician will tell them. Anywho, it's amazing. I can go to bed, but I wake up and the sink is full of dishes and the counter is full of treasures. How does that happen?
I'm on a routine.
Yeah, I don't know what happens after I go to bed. That's all I'm saying. So we have our routine in the morning of she eats, I clean the kitchen, she plays around. Then we get ready, we do our morning chores, and then we have our whole morning thing that we do that's separate than the afternoon. And before I explain our routine, can I explain why it's important?
Sure.
Okay, so the way that God made humans is he made us because God is a God of order and we are made in his image. Humans naturally like to have order in their life, and even tiny humans, it brings security and knowing what's going to happen next. So that's why it's important as parents we're consistent and we're orderly. And of course there's always room for surprises or whatever, sick days. But for majority, children thrive best when there is order and not chaos. And I've been in the education environment for a long time, and it doesn't matter how old the child is in high school or even now working with my toddler, children thrive in order. So it's important that if you choose a schedule or a routine, that as much as possible you try to stay consistent and in order, because it really does help the child to develop and to feel secure and to know what's going on. And if you do the same thing all the time, we are a creature of habit, as I'm about to explain. When you transition from one thing to the other, it often in toddler life, it can create a meltdown because they're unsure of what's going to happen. But if you do the same thing all the time and you follow the same routines, they feel comfortable with that. So anyway, our morning routine consists of we spend time in the kitchen, and just the way our house works right now, I put up the little dog gate and I just let her play in the kitchen. I clean the kitchen, I make us food. She can walk around, play with, sometimes I bring toys in there, not often, but she can eat her food, she can walk around and the dogs stay on one side. Then we get dressed for the day, we do our little morning thing. I do something with her in her room for a minute, and then we come out into the main area of the house and we do our morning chores, and she knows what to do when I'm vacuuming or mopping or trash, whatever. You know, she plays around the house and she knows exactly what to do. Then we do our lunchtime, and then after we follow lunchtime, we go take a nap.
So, at what time do you get her tablet time?
Oh, that depends. Again, that's
Is
her screen time.
Her screen time. So, is that a routine, or is that a award, or both?
It's okay, if we're just going to be candid. So depending upon how my morning goes, if I need to take a shower, she gets screen time.
Gotcha.
Because I don't have to watch her. And she can like self-occupy. So sometimes what I do is I take her tablet and a pouch of yogurt and a bowl of Cheerios and a cup of water or milk, and I set her up in the bathroom, and she likes to sit on your scale because it's like our little seat, and I take a shower and get ready, and she eats and watches her screen. We do that sometimes, but on an average day I try not to give her screen until like 4 or 5.
No, now
or when I'm making dinner,
but she'll get also screen time when she wakes up from a nap.
when she's with daddy.
And also with daddy, she gets screen time too.
I don't always give her the screen when she gets it from a nap.
Okay.
It depends upon the day. Most time, no.
So, a word can be put into a routine.
A reward can be put into a routine, sure.
Yeah.
If she does something, however, something I just read this, and it was, I don't remember, I probably read it on Pinterest. Someone was talking about toddlers, and they said if you do something once with a child or a toddler, they don't understand and they think it's an always. Or so if you one time let them have your phone to do something, they think that every time they do that activity, you get your phone. So that's where it's difficult with toddlers.
Gotcha. So with us, it's so important us to have a routine too, because they duplicate, like the shoes, right?
Yes. So you want me to tell that story?
Yeah.
So we get home from church, and PM church, what we do is we go into our room and lock the dogs out. We take off our church clothes, put our pajamas on, and then he'll leave the room, and I'll generally stay in there with Trinity, and I'll wash my face and brush my teeth and such, and then I get her ready for bed. And this Wednesday night, when I was in the bathroom trying to put my pajamas on, he was in the bedroom with her, and she sat down by our closet. She took her shoes and socks off and then put them in the closet.
In the closet. And if you go to our Instagram page, you'll see it. I thought it was kind of cute. So it's so important us adults can be in a routine to teach toddlers to be in a routine.
And so that's probably what's helped me to be effective, and it's just something I've practiced in my adult life of being scheduled. Actually, scheduling is that's why I started when she was first born. So I tried to accomplish a lot, and I have different various ways of keeping my lists. So when I was working, I would have Post-it notes that I read all over my desk. I'd have digital lists, whatever works for you, but that just is what worked for me. And then just making sure that I do the same things every day at the same time. Oh, it's 3:00. I need to vacuum my classroom and take up the trash and do X, Y, or Z. So then going into now, I have more of a free schedule, if you will. If I'm stay at home, right? I don't clock in and clock out. Do I?
No, you do not clock
I don't
in,
get clock in, clock out time.
No.
So, but I want to still accomplish things, because if I didn't have a routine of which we follow, our house would be even messier than it is now. Not that my house is a mess, but you know.
So you think that the best way for a mom or for a dad that takes care of a toddler, a routine is a best course of action?
Yes, because as I said, they get used to things. So for example, when we go out, we have specific routines. So when we go to the playground, I had to learn one because she screamed she loves the playground. And one time she went down the slide and I said, okay, we're done. And we walked out and she screamed. So now I have to tell her, this is the last time. When you're done with this slide, we're going to go to the car or something like that. And then we always say bye-bye to the park. So she knows what the routine is. For bedtime, she knows. So if I say, do you want to get in the tub? Currently, she's at that stage where she doesn't want to go to bed and say goodbye to the world for the night. So she goes, no. I put her in the tub anyway. Do you want to give daddy kisses? She says no, because she knows what happens next. Not that she doesn't want to give her dad a kiss, but she doesn't want to go to bed. And she knows it's the task before bed.
So I hope this were some good pointers that what we're going through.
What works for us.
Works for us. But she does most of the routine. I just...
So, on daddy time, what is your routine?
Our daddy time is play,
Popsicles,
and screen time. That's daddy's routine. We play a lot. So, but that's great because we have a great bond. So, all right. Is anything else you want to give a good advice about schedule versus routine?
You just have to find what works for you.
Yeah.
So for me, it works for us to do our chores in the morning or to do whatever in the afternoon. So I try, because, you know, we are a one-car family, so it's not as if during the day we could just pack up and go somewhere. So I try to break it up. So in the morning, I try to stay in the main portion of the house, in the kitchen and living room, and then in the afternoon, in the bedroom. So it's not the same thing all day. We break it up. And we have a routine with our dog, and his routine right now is to go outside. So he's telling me.
All right, so we are done for the segment. So follow us, like us, go to our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, and explain what your routine is in comments down below.
Give us any, everyone's different, every home is different. Some things work for you, might not work for us, and vice versa. So if there's something that you find that's great, let us know.
Yeah, and we're always on the social media, so you can follow us on social media. You can go to AverittsFavorites.com, and that will take you to all of our social media sites, and you can push the buttons and follow us. All right. Thank you for listening. Talk to you guys later. Bye.